what's happening? Welcome. Wow, all these hearts. We're going. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're just headed out to brunch with my wife, who, yes, is still... lost my Wi-Fi there for a second. Sorry about that. I usually turn off Wi-Fi. All right, let me give my safety speech first, and then we'll get started. So for those new to the show, just know that when I'm periscoping while driving, I'm looking at the road. I got my eyes glued on them. I'm not looking at the screen. Safety first. If you can speak while driving, then you can do what I am doing, because I'm just speaking. I'm not looking at the screen. So there you go. First of all, wow. How about Free Coaching Friday? I know that's about to expire. I think it expires in like 10 minutes. But holy cow, we had 1,281 people on yesterday on a 10 a.m. Friday. Crazy. Where are these people from? What's going on? That was nuts. So I've never, maybe I should start. Do you think well, I can't really interact with you because I'm driving, but I do wonder, maybe I should do some of these at night sometimes, because I'm always doing them during the day. But anywho, 1,281 people is amazing. So much gratitude and appreciate you guys. I hope you got massive value from it. I heard a lot of feedback from different people saying that they did. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so let me give you, so first of all, if you think that more people need to be aware of how to get out of their own way and how to get past frustration, feel free to share. Depending on what phone you're on, it's either swipe up or left or right or something like that, or maybe you shake it, I don't know. But feel free to share so we can get a few people on here and uplift them, give them some hope, give them some inspiration, and help them move more closely toward the goals that they have in their life. Because I just believe, there's a few core things that I believe. Number one, I believe that there's enough to go around. I believe that every single person on here can not only have an amazing family life, be with the person of their dreams, but can also have a extremely profitable business and a lucrative lifestyle. I believe all those things. And so that's why we teach our clients exactly what we do. We literally create our biggest competition, but I just don't believe that competition is something that truly exists when you focus on creation. And, for some people, I'm sure that sounds naive, but whatever. I just believe in abundance. I believe we all can have amazing things. So feel free to share. You can swipe left, swipe right, or up or down, or whatever. Shake it maybe, and get a few people on here, and I'll give you some words of hope. And if you get some value throughout this Periscope, feel free to give me some hearts. I've already earned a toaster, so I've literally, Periscope has really paid off for me already. But maybe I'll earn a can opener or something. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's a fixation around kitchen appliances or, whatever. But but yes, for those new to the show, I did actually have one Periscoper, Heather Cameron out of Denver, Colorado. She did send me a toaster. So that was really, really funny. All right. So if you are frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed out, step number one, and feel free to take notes. Step number one, change your language. That's step number one. Okay? Change your language. So long as you continue to express being overwhelmed, being confused, that's another one. Overwhelmed, frustrated, confused, stressed out. So long as you continue to use those words to describe your life and experience, you will continue to experience it. You will. Okay? You're not going to say, boy, I'm so overwhelmed, but man, I sure got a lot done today. No, it isn't going to happen. let me poke the bear a little bit here. Overwhelmed, you ready for this? Overwhelmed, what it actually means is you're a procrastinator. Ouch. Ouchies. Dang, Ray. Not fair, not fun. Overwhelmed means I have an awareness that there's a lot of things to do, but I'm just not going to do them. I'm just going to bitch about them. Oh, I just lost a few of you. A few of you just dropped off. A few of you just said, "Oh, I'm not here to get yelled at, Ray." Back to being overwhelmed. Okay? That's what overwhelmed means. It means I have an awareness that there's a lot of stuff to do, but I have an unwillingness to do it, so I'm overwhelmed. If your to-do list never gets shorter, then you're a procrastinator. Okay? Now, there is some intelligence that can be applied to overwhelmed, and that is I learn new stuff every single day because I invest in my education every day. For example, yesterday I spent 90 minutes studying a Periscope training. I spent 30 minutes going through an audiobook by Michael Masterson. Amazing, great book. I'm going to actually do a blog post about it probably next week. What else? I don't know, but every single day I'm learning new stuff. Now, I do apply some intelligence in that sometimes I learn something and I think, I don't need to use that. I don't need to do that in my routine, or I'm just not going to apply it. That's different. That's different than someone who learns all kinds of things just enough to know about them, puts them on a to-do list, but never accomplishes them. So overwhelmed means you're aware that there's a lot to do, you're just not willing to do them. And so instead of that, do one of two things. Either make progress towards your goals, or take stuff off your list. Take things off your list that you just aren't going to do. Okay? You got to do one or the other. But either way, whether you listen to that bit of advice or not, stop using the word overwhelmed. No one, not one person that I know that's successful ever uses the word overwhelmed. Same with frustrated. Frustrated is I am unwilling to figure out what the next step is. That's what frustrated is. I'm unwilling to figure out what the next step is. Let me tell you a little secret. I saw a great quote. I wish I had it in front of me, but I saw a great quote on Facebook this morning, and it talked about, it was from, I don't remember who it was from, but I shared it in my mastermind group, and it was all about not being ready. Okay? Let me assure you, no one's ever ready for about anything. When I left corporate world, and this year, I just kind of realized this morning, this year is my 10-year anniversary of not working for anyone. Okay? Well, besides my wife, I do work for her. She puts me to work. She's my toughest boss. But she's also my most loving boss. She's the bestest. But I left the corporate world 10 years ago. It was actually in April of 2005. I left the corporate world, never to return. Now, everyone around me said, "Oh, you'll be back. That's not going to work out. Oh, you'll be back." Well, 10 years later, I think we're doing okay. And but was I ready? Hell no. I was not ready to go and be a full-time entrepreneur. Now, let me just say that I am not suggesting that you just go out there and become a full-time entrepreneur, because I really did it kind of crazily. I didn't have a big pillow. I didn't have much income, I should say, coming in. So it was a little bit crazy. So could I have stayed frustrated? Of course. Absolutely. There's an ambulance passing by, so you may hear a little bit of noise. I I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what I was going into when I went into being a full-time entrepreneur. I really didn't, okay? The great thing about my job was that I knew what to do. I knew what to do each and every day. I would show up, punch the clock, do my deal. I knew what I had to do to be a decent employee. When I became an entrepreneur, I didn't know what I needed to do. I easily could have said, "Oh my God, I'm so frustrated. There's so many things to learn. I don't know what to do." But instead, I said, "Okay, what's the next step?" And that's what you need to do. You need to stop using the two words that I see so many people use. Do not use the words overwhelmed. Do not use the words frustrated. Change your language. Now, I'm not saying to lie. You don't have to lie. You don't have to say, "I'm a millionaire and things are amazing. Oh my God, everything is so great." You don't have to make stuff up. You don't have to lie to yourself, because it's the energy, it's the emotions that you have when you say things that really count, not what you say, but how you feel about what you say. Okay? Now, you can't say, "I'm really frustrated." Okay, you can't say that without having a negative emotion. When I just said that, I felt a negative emotion. I don't like it. That's why I don't say it. So it is how you feel about what you say that makes the most impact. So don't just lie to yourself. Don't just say, "So happy I'm a millionaire," if you just don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. Instead, say, "I'm so happy that I'm making progress. I'm so happy that my life is getting better. I'm so grateful that I'm attracting new people to me." Say things like that aren't lying, but they reek, I should say, of success, of progress. Okay? What are some progressive things that you can say that are true, that aren't, you lying to yourself, that will uplift you? Because it is in your language that your actions are manifested. See, that's what happens. When you use that negative language of frustration, stressed out, overwhelmed, all confused, when you use those things, that's how you show up. You show up in the light of being frustrated, of being stressed out, of being disappointed. You ever hear that one? Disappointed. Do you know you have to prepare for disappointment? That's another word that most successful people I know, they just don't use. They don't use the word disappointed. They don't use it. You have to prepare yourself for disappointment, right? You got to prepare yourself. See, disappointment means that let me irrationally rebel against current results. I bet you've never heard that one. Let me irrationally rebel against current results. I'm so disappointed that, Ray's driving while periscoping. I'm so disappointed that the baby isn't here yet. I'm so disappointed that I couldn't make it on the webinar. I'm so disappointed that, okay. Hold on one second. Let me just change my AC. You guys, can you hear me okay?
Sorry.
Everything all right? I know sometimes when I goof with the AC. Okay, all right, cool. So you have to prepare yourself for disappointment, and expressing disappointment means you are irrationally rebelling against current results. It's the hand you were freaking dealt. Deal with it. Oh, I'm so disappointed that, I didn't grow up in a big entrepreneur, family that taught me everything about being an entrepreneur. What the hell difference does that make? What the hell difference does that make about today or my future? Nothing. Zero. So let me just irrationally rebel against the hand that I was dealt. I'm telling you, you got to change your language. You got to change your language. Number 2, don't look at how far you have to go. So number 1, change your language. Number 2, Don't look at how far you have to go. Just look at what you can do now. What can you do now? And here's what I can tell you. You can always do something. You can always do something to get closer towards your goals. Always, 100% of the time. You can, if you're a internet marketer, you can create a new piece of content. You can create a video. You can create an article. You can do a Periscope. You can do some kind of new piece of content, right? If you're a network marketer, what can you do to progress towards your goals? You can attend that meeting. You can invite a prospect. You can prospect somebody. You can read a chapter in a book. Focus on what you can do. You can always do something. So focus on what you can do. Change your language. Focus on what you can do. And number 3, get around the right people. Now, I had something funny happen. I think it was late last night or this morning or something. So I posted on my Facebook that, hey, we had 1,281 people on Free Coaching Fridays Periscope, and holy cow, so awesome. Thank you guys so much. I hope you got amazing value. And a whole bunch of people commented. They're like, yeah, thank you, Ray. Oh my God, that was amazing. That was super cool. That was awesome. Like, I don't know, 30, 40 people commented, I think, something like that. And this guy that I don't know, he commented, he said, haha, I love seeing your cyborgs support you, or something like that. I love seeing your cyborgs support you, and I wonder if you'll ever teach them how to create success or help them to be successful like you are, right? So some of you would take that as a hater. Some of you would take that as, probably some other word, right? We could think of a couple words. But here's the reality, guys. Here's the reality. I used to think just like him. I used to think just like him. I used to think that anyone popular was full of shit. I used to think that anyone super rich had to trick somebody. They had to, lie and steal, and they had to do negative things. They had, if someone's super popular, there's no way that it's justified. They just got a bunch of brainwashed, people that aren't smart. Okay? I used to think that way. I really did. And so I feel for this guy. I feel for him. I'm not upset. I'm not like, hey, screw you, buddy. And so my response to him was, hey, man, I get it. I used to think the same way. I used to think that anyone popular was full of shit. To Bayfront?
Yeah, or Vanderbilt too.
All right. So I used to think anyone popular was full of shit, had hoodwinked people, had somehow brainwashed people, right? There's something wrong. Until I learned that it's possible for someone to actually create value that attracts people. And it didn't have to be with trickery. It didn't have to be with BS. It didn't have to be with, something unfounded. So I learned that. I learned that you can represent something of value, and you can build the life of your dreams. You can make as much money as you want. You can have as big a following as you want. You can have anything that you want if you're willing to put value in. And guys, this isn't just business. This is relationships as well. If you want to know, why do people, get divorced? Why do people split up? Why do people have, marital problems? At some point, one or both parties stop adding value. That's what happens. They stop, one or both parties stop adding value. That's what happens. So it's not just business, but it's true in relationships as well. You can have an amazing relationship. I know people that they think any anyone that appears happy in a relationship must also be full of crap. That's how people think. And I shared a quote on Facebook yesterday, which I thought was extremely impactful, and a lot of people liked it. And that is, caged birds always accept each other, but they long for freedom. Caged birds always accept each other, but they long for freedom. And that's by Tennessee Williams. I'm probably not quoting it exactly. But that's the game, guys. Who are you around? Who do you spend your time with? You've heard this over and over and over, but you're the average of your 5 closest people. The average, not the best. Okay? Probably not the worst, but not the best. The average. You got to get around bigger, better people. People that don't look at popular people as being, something weird. People that don't look at people that are rich as being conniving or, liars or whatever. So there you go, my friends. So just to recap, three quick tips for you. Number 1, change your language. Number 2, do what you can from wherever you are. Do what you can toward your goals. And number 3, raise your level of people. Get around the right people. And what's funny is when you do that step, the wrong people, they kind of energetically go away. See, some of you are like, well, how do I get away from the wrong people? You start getting around the right people, and it's like an energy force is changed. And all of a sudden, the wrong people, they kind of stop showing up. So there's a few tips for you, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this. Please drop some hearts so I can win that can opener. I should probably ask for something cooler than a can opener. But maybe I'll win a can opener, or I don't know, a waffler maybe. We already have a waffler though. But who knows. Anyway, love you guys so much. Have an amazing weekend. We are off to brunch so I can feed little baby Sabrina and my beautiful wife here. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.